All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is MyVideoBag podcast, and we're here with Jason Sirotin from ECG Productions out in Atlanta. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
A second ago, but it seems that everything is all right now. So
it wouldn't be an online meeting or chat without a technical problem.
That's right. I know. Tell me about it. So So Jason, what we're going to do is just start with just a little bit about your background, how you got into filmmaking, you know, how's everything going with your company right now, and then because this is a equipment-based podcast, we'll talk a little bit about some of the tools that you use in your trade and kind of some things that you're passionate about in the realm of cameras and, you know, any ancillary equipment for your productions, and we'll take it from there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, us in the audience.
Sure. So I got started making movies when I was in 4th grade after I saw Ghostbusters and just wanted to do it. Went to high school and did video, then went to RIT in New York and Emerson College in Boston, and then dropped out, went to work on Dawson's Creek. Got some good experience there, but did not like living in North Carolina. Moved back to Boston, became a news videographer for some time. Hated that. Responded to an ad on Craigslist for an internet television station called Super V at the time. It soon changed its name to XYTV. I got a job there, and I was employee number 4. Took over the company at 20, I think I was 23 years old. We grew it from 4 employees to 40 employees. So by 2001, we had, I think by 2002, we had 40 employees. We were in 100 markets across the United States. So we were a full-blown cable network. And what that did was it taught us how to, you know, not only sell a show, but how to build a whole network, which was really, really interesting. The problem is that right as we were about to become rich and famous, the whole economy started to crash and all of our funding went out the door. So at that point, the business shut its doors. I had to fire 40 of my best friends and close down that operation. And we had just finished shooting a film for the Howard Stern Film Festival. And so while I was on unemployment, I went and I had 2 of my films come in the top 3,000 and was in the top 8, flew down, did not win the festival. But then Howard offered me a job to be the head of original programming for his networks with In-Demand Networks. So I moved to New York and did that for 15 months. It was a dream come true until it wasn't. So, you know, it was, 90 to 100 hours a week working at, 4 in the morning until, 9 at night and repeating every day. And I just realized I was never going to, fulfill my dreams doing that. 2 of my employees moved to Atlanta and started ECG Productions and offered me a partnership to come down and help, make it bigger and better. Moved here in 2007, and we've been doing it ever since. We have about 20 employees. We have a 9,000 square foot facility, and we're expanding another 9,000 square feet. We got tons of edit suites and a studio, and everything's connected. So we have a 300 terabyte SAN, which makes editing way, way easier than passing hard drives around, as I'm sure younger production companies all know too well.
Right.
It becomes very, very messy. And now we're just cranking. We do everything from feature films, TV shows, commercials, music videos, corporate videos. I consider us video mercenaries, and I think that has to do with growing the company during the worst economy since the Great Depression. Is like we were taking any job to stay alive, and that's turned out to be our biggest benefit. And then we really got into the internet. I own a digital marketing agency as well, so we own search in Atlanta for all things video, and then that turned into owning it for the Southeast. And now we get, 5 to 10 leads off our website every day, and it just keeps us super, super busy.
Awesome, awesome. So just a question based on some of the things that you talked about. As I'm sure you obviously know, they started some nice film incentives in Georgia, and that was probably around from when you started to now. In Arizona, we do not have any film incentives, but we're trying to change that. What do you think that did for the Atlanta market for film and video, and for your company in specifically?
It did everything. So we were part of some of the committees that helped bring HB 1100 to the forefront. We definitely weren't involved in the lawmaking aspect, but we were a part of the Georgia Production Partnership at the time. And it changed the game. Atlanta now has, so many sound stages and so many productions going on, and Marvel's got a huge base here. And, we're seeing our counterparts and friends in the business doing so well, doing compositing work and doing post work. And it's really great. It's allowed us to bring new business to the area. We're really lucky in Atlanta to have so many large companies. GE's headquarters here, Kimberly-Clark, Coca-Cola, UPS, Home Depot. We've got so many corporations, because Mercedes, which is one of our clients. We have such a wealth of companies that rely on these tax credits, and the tax credits that were here before the film tax credits, that have just made it possible for big business and now big film to be here. It just drives business. It's everything. And I'm not a huge, I don't really love making movies anymore. It's just a grind, especially when you're making indies. So that is kind of not a big part of our business now. I won't touch a movie for under $2 million. And I don't even want to do it for $2 million. It's just not enough, because it is such a sacrifice of your whole life. But the tax credits are super helpful, and they bring a lot of talent and cool opportunities to the state of Georgia. So I highly recommend Arizona get on top of it. It drives, we did, I think, $4 billion last year, and I think we're on track to do $5 or $6 billion this year. That is a huge impact to the economy. And, I just really wish that people would start bringing department heads here instead of flying them in from LA. That's still a big case. But as we build the infrastructure here, I believe that that's getting better. Some of my friends have become department heads on the set deck side and on the prop side. So I feel like it's starting to change, but they're still bringing out their DPs and all of that, their producers from LA. But
right.
It takes a long time to shift that mentality. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, just location wise, we're just a 5-hour shoot from LA, so it would make sense for our state to kind of get on board, but that just hasn't been the case.
Well, due to diversity in locations, that's also huge. Georgia's got mountains, it's got country fields, it's got ocean. So you have all of those things. I think that also plays a big part in it. That's why Louisiana did so well.
Right.
It's also why a lot of other areas haven't done, Michigan has a huge tax incentive. Iowa had a 50% incentive. They had a lot of corruption there, but I think that has a lot to do with it. So I don't think it's just location from LA. I think it's location diversity.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense.
So Jason, I had a quick question. Coming from a production company standpoint, where you're dealing with data management and hard drives and potential server space, when was the turning point for your company where you were all right, we got to get this server?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we were building, and we have a blog about it where we teach people how to build 16 terabyte drives in a cost-effective way. So when we started running out of room on our 16 terabyte drives and having to lug them all over the office, and we actually our old facility got robbed, and we lost a lot of intellectual property. So we moved to a much more secure location. It's like Fort Knox where we're at now. And we just decided we've taken the steps to secure everything but our data. And now we need to build a machine room, make it super secure, and then make the investment, you know, with everything. I think it was like $150,000 to get the sand put up. But, you know, you can finance it. We put down a large chunk in cash. We did finance some of it, but it's made us on the post end probably about 30 to 35% more efficient. So it's easily paid for itself. You don't realize how much you need it until you have it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really just incredible. And we had it custom built to suit our needs. So I highly suggest that, because every company has a different set of needs. And we've constantly had to add seats to it and add memory to it. Now we're working on getting the magnetic tape backup for it, the robot that does everything. You know, that's another 50 grand, and that's something we're doing by the end of the year, because we're still backing up to drives that, you know, for clients that aren't paying for server space. So that's something we want to move everybody to paying for storage, because it's just so expensive. And it's such a drain to have to clear it out all the time. But it wouldn't be a drain if people were dumping cash into it for us. So that's something that we're really working on, is trying to get everybody paying for server space.
So you're currently not passing off that cost onto the client?
We're working on transitioning to that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was about efficiencies for ourselves. Now it's moving to like, okay, we've got that in place. Now we have clients that have 5 terabytes of storage. Well, why are we responsible for that?
Right.
You know, the client really should be, but, you know, we don't like to surprise clients ever.
Right.
Never. That's the fastest way to lose a client, is to be like, surprise, $500 extra a month. So we're going to set expectations, roll it out very, very slowly, give our clients, you know, a grace period to, you know, get us hard drives, put it on the hard drives for them for free if they choose not to. But, you know, we have clients who are accessing media that they've had with us for 4 or 5 years. So they need to have it on the SAN so that we can constantly be accessing the library. And that's a whole other part of the business. I mean, people are cranking out videos that, you know, not for us, but at an alarming rate. You know, some clients are cranking out 40 videos a month. So that makes it, you need that ease of use, and you need to be able to have multiple editors working on projects at the same time.
Right. Totally.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's pivot a little bit to some of the gear that you know, you guys use on a daily basis. Some things that maybe you're excited about, some stuff maybe not so much, some things you're kind of looking forward to that might be coming out in the future. And you know, feel free to expand outside of just you know, the camera. Any lights that you're passionate about, audio equipment, stabilizers, aerial, you know, the works. Just let me know what your thoughts are on the you know, the state of production equipment.
Yeah, so we're really on cameras here. We don't buy the high-end cameras. We rent the high-end cameras. So if we're using an Epic or an Alexa or anything like that, we rent it, because the technology changes so quickly, and we feel that each camera has a different look, and each project requires a different look. So we rent the Epic a lot. We rent the Alexa a lot. In-house, we have the Ursa Mini Pro, which we really, really love. We have the original Blackmagic Production 4Ks. We have a bunch of A7Ss. We love all those. We think they're great. You know, we shot a music video 2 days ago on the Ursa Mini with the Otis lenses, the primes. Love the Otis lenses. They were great. They look amazing. And the only problem I had with, those are my first music video with the Ursa, because our the guy who we get our red from was out of town and got trapped out of town because of the storm. So it has a lag to monitor. And obviously when you're doing a music video, sync and seeing things to the beat, especially for what we were shooting, was really important. And that lag was just like fucking my head up. I could not tell what was happening, and it was driving me crazy. So instead of my attention being just on the monitor, I was having to like peek at what was happening on set to ensure that the dancers were on beat and that everything was happening on beat, because I couldn't tell if we could move on or not. I'm a big fan of LED technology. So LED light technology, I think the company that's doing a really great job for a really good value is ICANN. And, you know, full disclosure, I'm an ICANN reseller, but only because I really believe in the product. It used to be a really shitty product, in my opinion, you know, like 7-8 years ago. About 4 years ago, they really changed, and the light spectrum technology is really, really good. Their dual color LED lights for the money are amazing. Our whole studio is lit with dual color LED lights. Really low pull. We can keep the studio cool because we only have a 5-ton system in our studio. So, and we live in Atlanta and it's hot as hell here. So keeping the studio cool is really important. So I'm really into the LED lights right now. For sound, we do have sound devices, but we really love the Edirol, the Roland Edirol. For the money, it's really great, and I really love the sound quality of it mixed with electrosonics. We use electrosonic lavaliers. We use Neumann hypercardioid for indoor interview shoots, which is really great. We're using a Neumann mic in our voiceover booth, which I really, really love. It's really, really great. I don't know the exact model numbers. We really have to get my tech guys in here. So that's really where we're at. We use for the A7S, we use a WenPod camera stabilizer, which is really great. Been using the Teradek wireless monitoring system. Just am loving the Teradek. And we're using the Teradek with the Movi Pro too. The new Movi Pro is awesome. And we're using the Inspire 2 drones a lot. With 2 operators though. That's something, we're shooting a bunch of Lamborghinis on a track on Sunday. Mercedes is one of our clients. So what we're trying to do is, because right now we do all the car tours for the Mercedes, and we really want to get them to allow us to do the driving shots that they've been doing with the Russian arm with either an octocopter or a drone. Our new demo reel that's coming out was shot with, it's badass. We took a parkour artist, the guy who actually played Spider-Man in the latest Avenger movies? So we did this whole thing where he ran through this park, and we shot the whole thing on an octocopter with the red, with the Zeiss super speeds. And it's just the RE primes, the Zeiss RE primes is just amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I know I'm all over the place, but there's so much gear and so much to talk about. I just tell you what I like.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, we want to get Mercedes to allow us to do the driving shots. And so we got a track to allow us to come in and shoot at Magic Hour. So we're doing that this weekend so we can show them, hey, look at what we can do with these drones in really tight areas, because it's all about, you know, the Mercedes climbing the mountain, or, you know, whatever it is. It's just, that's what people are into. They want to see those kinds of shots. And our drone operators are good. So we're shooting with 2 drone operators. So one person controlling the drone and one person controlling the camera, which requires 2 Inspire remotes. We're using 2, I think they're called crystal monitors, which are really, really nice for the money. I think the one we got was mid brightness, and I think it was $600 for the Inspire 2. And so that's really nice. So after dropping you guys that giant list of gear, I'm happy to answer any questions about those as much as I can. I'm not the most technical person at this point. I've really kind of fallen into that director's mindset where it's like, I'm going to let those guys who are specialists at what they do their thing and, you know, work as a team and collaborate. So, but I can take you as far as I can.
Gotcha. Right. So the ICANNs, we have been making some purchases recently with different kinds of lights. We got the Westcott's, and we actually did a gear review on the Westcott Flex lights with the Peter Hurley kit. It's more expensive, but the lights are pretty amazing. How do those like ICANNs stack up with, you know, say the Westcott's, or like there's imitation Westcott's out there right now that, you know, you can get on Amazon for like $100, $200 for, you know, a 2x1. And I've kind of seen those side by side, and it's kind of shocking how almost similar they are, but obviously the material is a lot cheaper. But how do those ICANNs stack up with something like a Westcott kit?
Yeah, so on our blog, we actually did a comparison between, because we used to be light panels like junkies. So we did a spectrum test versus light panels versus the ICANNs, and they were almost exactly the same. A little hint of green, just a touch, a very small, very correctable amount in the ICANN lights, but they have gotten even better since we did that test. So I'm not familiar with the Westcotts that you're talking about. I'm sure they're great, but I don't know enough about them to speak to those. But you know, for the price, I think they're really good. And I like, so here's my opinion on gear is like, spend the money when you know it makes enough of a difference to really tell. Like glass, right? Lenses, you can really tell. Cameras, you can really tell. Lights, shit. You can throw gels on those and like tweak them. You can throw minus green on, and you know, you can tweak things really easily, and then you don't have to be as paranoid about it, right? Like, be more rugged with your gear. I'm really hard on everything, right? I'm hard on computers, I'm hard on cars, I'm hard on gear. And so I like to have the flexibility to be rough. I want to be able to like throw a light on the ground and not care as much. You know, and look, I'm a big REHMI fan. So like an M18 to me is like something you always have to have on set. I really love the M18s. I have some of the ICANN HMIs, and they're great, but they are not M18s. They are not the same. That's an area where I feel like you can have flexibility. Right. You really need to spend the 8 to 12 grand on one light. You just have to. There's nothing like those lights. So, but other than that, I feel like you got to have flexibility.
Totally. So like with the Inspire 2, I mean, that's really just a groundbreaking drone. We have gotten one in-house recently as well. And as a production company, what kind of precautions do you take before bringing that out into the field? I know drones can be pretty dangerous, and you kind of have to be on top of that. How do you handle it?
Well, that's a great question, especially we do a lot of stuff for the Georgia Department of Transportation. So we're flying drones over the highway during peak times of day. So we make sure that we run tests and run safety precautions. We go out with full batteries. We make sure that we're not in a restricted zone. We have licensed pilots on staff. We just try to take every precaution possible and just not push the limits. When we're getting to half battery life or close, we try to just monitor it extra carefully. We do checks. We have like an on-belay system. Like if you're a mountain climber, it's like, where's the battery at? Battery's at 20%. Copy, 20%. Coming down at 10, coming down at 10. You know, just really crystal clear communications through the whole thing, and making sure everybody has an eye in the sky, and we don't push the limits of how high we can fly and how far the range is. It's like, it's not worth it. You know, that falling down and injuring someone, it's always safety first for us. That's really important. So yeah, I don't know much more to say about that. It's test the gear and just be safe. Don't be stupid. Don't try to do shit that you don't know how to do. Test in a parking lot. If you're going to try something new and want to like do fast sweeping moves down at cars, like if you're doing that on a Bentley or a Mercedes or a Lamborghini, you could be costing your company, you know, thousands of dollars in insurance claims and your drone. So it's just not worth it. We fly over water a ton. So, you know, flying over water is terrifying. And, you know, I know they shot Ozark, the Netflix series here, and the amount of drone shots they have over Lake Altoona, which is playing for the Ozarks, is incredible. And you just gotta be careful. A lot of money out there.
Absolutely. So do you guys have, there's different types of production insurance that you possibly can purchase for, you know, your production company in general? I know there's UAV insurance or UAS insurance out there. What do you guys kind of have in your end as far as insurance goes?
We've played insurance like this. We only expand when a client makes us, right? So like we cover our gear, we cover our liabilities, we make sure that everything is safe, but you know, our insurance has only gone up, our coverage only when it's required, and we'll only do that if it's worth it. So if a client for a $10,000 shoot is like, well, you need to have $5 million worth of coverage. Well, we're like, well, sorry, fuck that. That's not happening. You know, that's a huge increase in coverage. You know, I think 2 million is a very good number to be at for insurance coverage for, you know, a regular corporate production. You know, movies, obviously we cover completely differently. Right. Movies have their own policies, but our regular production company insurance, I think it's at 3 million now because we had to go up for a shoot. But we've had requests for 5 million, and a lot of times we'll push back. We'll be like, look, we've got 3 million, you know, and they're like, well, then what if the whole building burns down? I was like, well, then maybe you shouldn't shoot with us, but it's pretty last minute to be making this call. And you guys know, I mean, most productions are last minute now. People don't have their shit together. They make the decision like, oh, well, we have the money to make it now. And it's like 2 weeks before production. And so there's not a lot of flexibility. We have a great insurance provider. We use Travelers for our production insurance. We have a great agent here who does a great job. I think they're called North Point. They do a wonderful job, like getting us the COIs really quickly. And we have, you know, our film insurance folks are really great whenever we're doing a larger production or a TV show. Always go separate for that. Open a new entity, get new insurance. Don't tie it to your business. That's a huge mistake because then it's all on you. You know, and then you're at risk. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking my calendar real quick to make sure I'm missing a moment.
Well, I'm going to say I don't want to take
no, I'm good.
More of your time. I wanted to keep it to an hour, but unfortunately, because of the technical.
No, I'm good. I've got more time.
Okay, sweet. I just have one question. What kind of apps are you using that kind of help your? I mean, there's so many apps out there like Sunseeker and stuff that help you during production. Is there anything that you use for pre-production or post, or what are you using on either your iPhones or your tablets or anything like that?
And see, this is the great part about where I'm at in my career is I don't know the answer to all of those things. I know that the call sheets get made in a really awesome software. I can't remember the name of it. You said somebody walking in I was hoping somebody would walk in my office and they could tell me. And then we definitely use Sunseeker. That's a great app. We use Movie Slate Pro. That's great. I mean, I still like a clap slate or a smart slate, but you know, the convenience of being able to have your phone and have the time code right there and be able to do that is great. Yeah, so I think that's basically it. I don't think we use that much technology. I mean, we do run some of the gear off of it. Like we use the electrosonics and the sound devices apps to turn on and off the mics because it's really great. You put them, you know, the app right up to the mic and it turns it on and off so you don't have to take it off if your client has to go pee or something. It just makes life a lot easier.
Gotcha.
I have a question, Jason. Because it's kind of funny. The main thing that made me find you guys originally was your blog post, why music videos don't cost $500. And earlier in our career, as I'm sure you probably got a lot of calls, people were calling about music videos and only had $100 or $200 or whatever.
They still call. They call more now because they don't read. People are stupid. They look at that and go, "Oh, I hear I can get a music video for $500," and I write back, it says why music videos don't cost $500.
So anyways, I just thought it was a great article, and I've actually sent a bunch of people to it that call with $500. So Phoenix is an interesting market in the sense that it's not a very it's not one of the larger metropolitan areas. The people that call for music videos, they're not signed to a label or anything, so they're really paying out of pocket. What's your experience with doing music videos? Because I know you do a lot of high-end music videos. Is it are the labels calling you for that? Is there any independent music companies that are or music groups calling you for that? And just your experience in the music video realm in general.
I make music videos because I fucking love making music videos. It's art. It's like the ultimate form of expression. It's the best. It's the best. It's what I wish. I don't wish I was born earlier because I don't want to be any older, but I wish I was around when they were paying $1 million for music videos, because that would have been just an incredible experience. Now you're lucky. If a music video from a major artist has 90 grand, you're like, oh yeah, 90 grand, awesome. But that's like such a small amount of money for some of the things that we want to do. But we get a lot of calls. I'd rather do it for free if I really like the artist and just do it. Like there's a rapper that I just love in town named 16OS. I did his music video this week for free. It was probably a $30,000 production. I probably put $10K of my own money into it just because I love it. I love it. I wanted to make the video. So there are independent labels that come and will pay us $25,000, $30,000 to do a music video. But I have a generic letter that I send to everybody that has very specific things that I'm asking for when they send a request. And that weeds a lot of people out. I actually don't send the article to people at all. Because coming from me, because of the tone of it, I was angry as fuck when I wrote that. I was just an angry person. So during that, because I was getting screwed over, and so much of my day was talking to rappers who wanted to do music videos and had these crazy concepts, and then you'd ask them their budget, and they were like $300, $400. And it's like, there was one day where I was like, and that was the first blog I ever wrote, and it's had over 1.5 million page views. And so, and I think it's like at 13 or 14,000 shares now on social for Facebook. So for me,
well, it resonated with a lot of people.
The thing, and I haven't been able to recreate it. And that's, imagine your first blog blows up. It's like peaking in high school, right? Like I peaked on my first blog, and I've been unable to replicate no matter how angry I get. And I think that's because the problem was so common. I try to write blogs on the most common issues. Like I have an article called "Our Small Business is Not a Fucking Bank," right? Because clients wait, 60 to 120 days to pay us. And it's like, you're a $1 billion company, right? We're a multi-million dollar company, but you're a $1 billion company. Can you please send us like the $12,000 you owe us? But they want their numbers to be higher so their shareholders benefit. So those blogs.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you should read that article.
We're waiting
to share it.
We're waiting on it. We're waiting on a net 75 job right now. and it's like 77 days, and I'm like, where is this?
Yeah, no, I fired all those clients. The clients who you would be like, why would you do that? Well, it's because I'm not a bank, right? And people aren't going to put up with that. You can go to, you know, some shitty production company and they can do that for you. Like, I paid my dues. We do amazing work. We work really hard. We're super communicative 98% of the time, unless we're like got a crazy shoot week. So like we've earned it. Like, pay us. Like, I don't need to do your stupid job because you're blank company.
Right.
Like, I don't need your logo anymore. I got it. I already got it. I got your logo. I'm done. Right. You were a client. But I just don't think it's fair. I think it's wrong. I pay our vendors super quickly. Like, I believe in paying the crew the minute we get paid, or if not, if we can afford it, we pay them out the day of the shoot. Or at least half. Like, why should everybody wait to get paid?
Right.
I mean, the work, right? I get net 30. That's fine. That's reasonable to wait 30 days. But man, I prefer net 15. That seems way more fair to me.
Right.
You know, so when people have a problem with that, we ask for 50% deposit. Like, why? You expect me to pay for all the talent involved with this? You want me to pay the actors for your production? That doesn't seem fair.
Right.
Yeah, so I just have strong opinions about that. And I try to blog about shit I care about. I think the blogs that I write that are just to get blogs out, or I just want Google to see it, like, they don't mean anything to me, so I stopped writing them. And we require every staffer to write a blog a month. And you know, the rule is don't give me a blog you don't care about. You got to be passionate about it, or readers won't care. Right? Yeah, it has to have the keywords, and we're trying. There's a whole game to it. You know, I'm a digital marketer. I get it. But like, I don't want anybody writing shit they don't care about. Same with what you guys are doing. You
Right.
care about gear, right? Because gear is awesome. It makes shit cooler. So, that's important to me. And I think everybody should create content that you care about. So, you know, I don't know if you guys follow Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary Vee, but yeah, but like, you know, he always says, you know, you can't spend your day creating shit nobody cares about. It's pointless. That's always resonated with me. It's like, you can't. Why are we telling our clients to make boring shit just so we can get paid? Like, that's not going to do anything. They're not going to be our clients very long if it's not successful.
Right.
Very true.
Do you have any further questions, Dan?
No, everything you're saying is just resonating to your team, man. I mean, Jason, I'd love to, when we come out to ATL at some point, link up in person. It was great working with your production company and everything, and hopefully we get to work together in the future soon.
Yeah, let's have some drinks and hang out and just get to know each other better. That'd be fun. You guys seem like great guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, man.
Wish you guys the best of luck with everything you're doing. Good luck.
So Jason, just before we finish, can you just tell the viewers about you know, how to find you guys on social, contact info, you know, whatever we can do to share.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so you can go to our website, ecgprod.com. So ECG, Entertainment Creative Group Productions, is our full business name. So it's ecgprod.com. I believe our Instagram handle is ecgprod. But you can just search for ECG Productions. There's not another ECG Productions. Yeah, you can check out our blog, ecgprod.com/blog. It's updated all the time, and we try to provide a ton of value. There's a lot of really cool gear reviews up right now. We've done this new kind of funny blog series with our DP and our first AC, where they act like it's an infomercial, a really cheesy infomercial, and we review gear. And I mean, it makes me laugh, and I don't know if it's just because I love the guys that are doing it, or if they're really funny. So if you think they suck, leave a comment saying that they suck. If they're great, say they're great. But you can learn stuff. If you want to buy gear from any ICANN gear, you know, I'll give you better pricing than B&H if it's possible. Just because I'm a big fan of the gear, I'm not looking to make money off of it. I believe in it. I think it's a great tool, especially for young production companies. And anybody who has a question, I answer every email that's not a rude person. Like if somebody has an honest question that they have, you can email me at sirotin@ecgprod.com. And yeah, I answer every email. It's a big thing because I believe that everybody deserves to have respect and get answers from a trusted source. And thankfully now I'm a trusted source because I'm getting old.
Perfect. Well, Jason, thank you so much once again. And we look forward to talking to you in the future.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay.
Bye.